Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a long time, had a lot going on with things, and I just couldn't devote the time to the channel that I wanted in order to be consistent with videos and so forth. And so I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna have to put it aside for a while, figure out when I'm going to be able to devote the time that I really want and start doing the videos that I really want and being consistent with it. Obviously, if you are here, hopefully you are here and figured it out. There's been changing the branding too. Never really liked the name before. It was, I mean, it was kind of cool. And there's a backstory to it, but it was a little long, and a lot of people were going to be, what does that even mean? So I went a little shorter, went a little cleaner, and hopefully it's something that resonates a little more. But thank you for being here. If you did tune in, if you did remember the channel and you actually still have it in your feed, I really do appreciate it. Obviously, things are ramping up for Supergirl because it comes out next week. And I gotta tell you, vibes, baby. The vibes I've gotten from Millie Alcock are like every time she speaks, this movie loses more money. It's kind of wild. Now, I don't want to say it first. I want to play this short clip for her, and then I want to hear well, and then I'll tell you, but I want you to think about, hey, does this remind you of anyone talking about an upcoming film of theirs, and how did that work out for them? So let's take a listen to Millie being interviewed.
Discussion online about Kara's queerness in the comics. Was that something that you explored when you were preparing for the role?
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all. Exactly. If anything, yeah. But we'll see. I don't really know, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's great.
She'd probably go both ways.
I believe there was a movie called Snow White where a character decided that they were going to give a spiel about how it don't need no man. It ain't about love. It's like the exact same thing that Rachel Zegler was saying. And we all know how that turned out for Snow White, Disney, and Rachel. And we also know that Millie, not that long ago, decided she was going to bash Christians and Christianity as well. So it seems like every time, like Rachel Zegler, every time Millie opens her mouth, a lot of people are like, yeah, you know what? This doesn't sound like the movie for me. I don't think I'm going to watch it. And because of that, the numbers seem to keep dropping in terms of what the expectations are for the very first weekend for Supergirl, which is a shame because Supergirl, if done correctly, is a very, very popular character. But we already know that James Gunn decided to subvert expectations and completely change the Supergirl that everyone knows into something else. This is a short clip. I'm not going to play all of it because it's just in the beginning that I think is the really, really important part that's relevant to this.
The character Supergirl often gets pigeonholed to being this milquetoast reflection of Superman.
I think she challenges that throughout this film.
Hi, just wanted to touch base about when you think you might be coming back.
It was exciting to have Supergirl as not your usual hero.
It's not too late to not be a jerk.
There's an altruism to Superman. He's got an incredible moral.
So I want to talk about that first thing you said. First of all, she wasn't a milquetoast copy of Superman. Supergirl's in fact, I would actually say in a lot of ways she was a much more optimistic, much more bubbly, I was going to say human being, but I guess she's technically not human, but you know what I'm saying. But here's the other thing of what James Gunn said that is kind of, people are tired of it. Not your typical hero. Guess what? A lot of moviegoers, they want the typical hero back. Everything in Hollywood recently has all been about tearing down and destroying what we consider to be heroes. Great example just came out, The Death of Robin Hood. So what is it? Well, they completely changed the story that we know about Robin Hood. Robin Hood is no longer a hero. Robin Hood is not the good guy. He's not stealing from the government, by the way. It's not the rich. People get that quote wrong all the time. He stole from the government who taxed the people too much and gave them their money back. But no, now he was just a vicious, brutal, murderous criminal who killed a lot of innocent people because he liked it. And now we're going to tear down Supergirl to subvert expectations. And people are just freaking tired of it, man. They're tired of it. And that's why expectations for this movie in terms of box office continue to decline. We've got Supergirl opening in fewer theaters than Superman did. I believe, I mean, it's not huge. It's still opening in like 3,600 plus theaters, but Superman, I believe, was 4,100 theaters. So, that's not an insignificant drop in terms of the number of theaters that it's going to be in. Why does that even matter? Unlike a tracking forecast, a theater count is a decision, not a guess. It reflects how many screen studios and exhibitors are willing to commit to a title, a real money vote of confidence placed before a single ticket is sold. Well, I'm sure there are tickets that have been pre-sold, but you understand. Although I guess the movie theater, the number of theaters just probably goes before pre-sale of tickets. Obviously, that. Sorry about that. I got ahead of myself. A wide tentpole release typically opens in 4,000 plus theaters. Slipping under that line and well below a predecessor is the kind of thing that tends to track with more cautious expectations. More signs point the same way. Still, it's hard to ignore the pattern. The theater count joins softening tracking projections and bearish betting markets. But specifically regarding that smaller theater count, Supergirl is going up against Toy Story 5's second weekend, which could nab the number one spot away from Superman's cousin. And Toy Story 5 is already off to a super start. The number that settles it arrives soon enough. Supergirl opens June 26th. Yeah, so that's a great point. And especially when you're talking about, right, the summer blockbuster season is here. It is the first official weekend of summer, full weekend, I guess, anyway, since Sunday's the 21st. I guess you could technically say that's the beginning of summer, but it's first full weekend for summer. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this movie does. I will go see it opening weekend, maybe do a review. There's so many actually good movies that came out this year that I really wanted to talk about, but again, I just didn't have the chance with the channel. But hopefully now I'm going to be able to do that consistently. So we'll see how it goes. It's really interesting because I think this is going to set a tone for DC going forward. It's going to be really interesting. Superman, it came in lower than expected, right? It wasn't a complete box office bomb, but it didn't exactly set the world on fire either. So it's going to be important for Supergirl to do well, I think, for the future of at least James Gunn's DC before maybe they step back and be like, hey, you know what? We might have to retool and figure some things out and go in a different direction. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you planning on seeing Supergirl? Are you planning on seeing it the first weekend? And do you like the idea of Supergirl being completely different than the Supergirl that we know? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to you later.